Okay.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Bench Time Podcast. That was awful. I'm just going to roll with it, though. Welcome to the 181st episode of the Bench Time Podcast with Todd and Brett Wiley and Jason Jensen of Jason Jensen's Trains. And
right there!
So, obviously, there's no secret as the intro went, it's been an interesting evening getting started, but we finally have gotten started, and we're here. We're ready to go. So
that's okay. I was the initial delay because
it's all my dad's fault.
Because my computer decided when I went to reboot it because nothing was starting. It decided it was going to do a whole update thing. So
welcome to Windows 11.
Well, I was rebooting. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I decided, instead of using my phone, that we should do Skype first, then Zoom.
Yeah.
And Jason just also upgraded his Mac, so all the settings were out of whack. And but we're here. Yep. We're here now, and we're ready to go. So
okay.
After all of the trials and tribulations, all of our computers are fixed, and I think we're set. So
yep.
Let's kind of kick it off and have, I don't know, it's been a while since we've had you on, Jason, so do you want to give us a little bit of an update on, don't go into your new thing yet, your kits. Let's it's been almost a year since we've had you on, so let's just, minus the kits yet, we have plenty of time to talk about that. Let's kind of just talk about what you've been up to and how everything else has been going.
Well, I don't know how to not talk about the kids.
Okay, well then how about we do this?
Well, we're gonna get there because we're gonna hammer that.
Okay.
So let's actually then
what have you been doing outside of that, modeling wise?
It's my whole life now.
Yeah,
that's true.
So then how about we do this then? How about we backtrack to the beginning of this process, because I'm sure you told my dad, how you were kind of dipping your toes into it, but let's walk everyone through, the trials and tribulations of starting it, what kind of sparked the idea of it, or what was that first couple moments like when you decided, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, like this is where I want to go.
Well, it's so funny because the whole process really has taken me a year. An entire year. I mean, I bought the laser cutter a year ago. And then I started getting materials for the laser cutter. Excuse me. And just the whole process of starting a business, doing an LLC, doing a website, the amount of material that I needed, boxes, envelopes, wood, laser board, task board, all that stuff. I had to set up accounts with these companies, order material. I probably could have went a little faster than an entire year, but but that's okay. We got the company going. And it's been incredible. It really has. It's been much bigger than what I thought it would be.
Yeah. What do you think was so I was telling you earlier a little bit, I was just in the process of also launching a new business, different, not modeling, don't worry guys, not building models, or creating models, but what was the most like shocking part of it to you as far as like the official, not the modeling side, but like getting your business going? Like what was something you didn't expect?
I guess the amount of paperwork that you have to fill out online.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. For in taxes in the state of Colorado, then your LLC and the website. Every company tells you that it's going to be easy. They'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
Just use our templates. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it takes forever.
Should have called me.
We decided. we decided to do international shipping. So you have to set it up for each place. And it just takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Yeah, people don't realize when you order something from someone how much it took to just get to the point for them to be able to ship an order to you.
Yes.
Well, let's go back further. What sparked the idea that you're going to make your kits? When did that come along? And let's start with that.
Okay. Well, I love building structures. I mean, everyone knows that. I just love building structures over even running trains.
Yep.
That's my
passion. We
entirely
understand that.
Yeah, that's my passion in the hobby. So, I built it very slowly, meaning I started a Facebook page probably, I would say 7 years ago now.
Right.
And then from there, I went to Instagram. Then I built my YouTube channel. And so all this time, I've slowly been building an audience.
Right.
With the hopes that someday that audience would then buy kits from me. So
you had that in the back of your head at some point.
Yeah.
You were going to be a kit manufacturer.
Yes. Yep.
And then one day you said, you know what? Let's make this. Let's snap it, make it happen. Look at the numbers of people that I have that follow me here, YouTube, everywhere. Because we watched you grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people I feel like do it the opposite way, where they think of a product and then they do everything else after they create their product. Then they're trying to backpedal and build an audience after they have a marketable product.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
That's a long game. You were in it for the long game.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had you on the show probably more than not probably more than anybody else. You've been on as a guest more than any other guest. Okay, Doug being a close second. Okay, but we watched from the beginning, and when we first met you, we got you on the show, and we hung out with you at a show, and we went. We hung out with you at George Celius's, and it was cool. But and we've had you on, and then at that time you were really really starting to build steam with everything, and then now you really jumped on board. Now, when you jumped on board, obviously you bought a laser cutter, right?
Yeah.
And now, what helped you with that selection? How you got started with that? I mean, obviously there's a learning curve with that. So
sure.
I guess in the span of, you said you got it a year ago.
Yeah.
And you've had to, during that year's time, you probably had to work with it and learn it and everything else.
Well, backing up a little bit, I first started working with other companies.
Remember that?
Like KC Workshop, Carolina Craftsman Kits, Showcase Miniatures was my first company that I worked with. And after working with those different companies and sort of learning the ropes from them and seeing how they did things, I guess then it really encouraged me to do it on my own.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
But Doug from Foscale, he has helped me the most. He really has. With all the different companies that supply materials, the laser cutter itself, he has just spent so much time with me, giving me so much advice.
Right.
So, a huge thank you to Doug for really helping me with getting the company going.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm sure it's easier to tap into. Why beat your head off the wall and try to do it on your own, and when you can tap into these resources who are more than willing to share because they know that you're doing good for the hobby as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And I have to give a huge shout out to my wife, Maitri. She has done so much. She has set up the website. She's helped do so much of the legal paperwork. Even now, she gets off work at 5:00 and she works at home like me. So right after work, she is checking orders that need to be fulfilled. She's helping with customer service, checking what supplies need to be reordered. Just incredible.
That's awesome.
And then my son is helping me cut every day and helping me get files in the computer. So it's become a family business, and
that's really cool.
It is cool. It has really consumed our lives. It really has. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that with Brett without strangling him.
No, that's why we don't do the podcast in the same room.
Yeah, because people be seeing us swing at each other.
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm just kidding. We would never do that. We might throw food at each other or something. But
I fully underestimated how fast things would go with sales. I really did.
Yeah.
And I guess, like we just talked about building my audience first. I guess I didn't really quite fully understand the impact that would have on the business.
Oh, yeah.
I way underestimated ordering supplies, how many kits to put together before I even released my first one. I just got slammed.
And that's got to be part of the learning experience of starting business anyway. No matter what you're doing. Let's say you open a restaurant. And you open the restaurant, and I know because I've done it with my family. And when, the first week, you're thinking, oh, well, we're going to be busy, so we're going to make sure we order this amount of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you find out you're slammed, and you don't have enough stuff, and you're rushing around calling the vendors, trying to make sure you get everything on time so you don't look like a fool with your customers by not having it, or you've gone too much, and now you're sitting there going, "Oh, damn! I hope."
Well, the difference is Jason's not stocking up on hams that are going to expire. He's just
I get that. It's not perishable, right? Understandable,
But I understand, with the accounts that I have set up, you have to spend a certain dollar amount. You can't just order a couple from this place, a couple of sheets of wood from this place, like. You have to order large quantities.
Yeah, you're not calling the wood place and going, and I'm not naming any wood place, but you can go to the wood place and go, I'll take 3 sheets of that other stuff. And you got to have an idea of what amount you're going to produce at any one time. So when you do that, you have a set amount. Are you like, I'm going to kick out 50 kits. If we need more, I'll order beyond that. Or, I mean, I'm guessing that's the concept you're taking.
And it's all learning. It's just a complete learning experience. So I'm just getting better, and that's why I started small. My first kit was just 2 little shacks.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to get it figured out first.
Right.
And then I added a second kit, which was a little bit bigger. And so I'm slowly growing. But thanks to everyone for the tremendous support. It's just
the kits are awesome. I haven't seen the shacks yet. Brett ordered the shacks.
I got them here. Yeah.
Oh, you got them there?
Yeah.
Cool.
And
cool.
So he's going to build one. I'm going to build the other, I think. But and then of course, then you have the service station.
Yep.
That you have.
Eddie's
and that's
oil
the newest
change.
one.
Fast Eddie's oil change.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I got
one badass kit with all the signs and everything. I love it.
I apologize, Jason. It's still in the wrapper, and I'm a little angry. It's not autographed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, what's up with that?
I want a signed copy. No, it's okay. But there is something cool though. It's like it's kit 1. That's what when I opened it, and I know Doug numbers his kits too, which I'm seeing. Which is not a bad thing, but I see some similarities, which is cool that you're going to try and run them in the same way. That way, when people look back, they can see.
Oh, he numbered that kit?
Yeah, this was kit.
And you have number 1, Brett?
Well, it's not one of. It's not the first. No, that's not.
We're all number one.
I was like, man,
Everyone has
us.
number one. Yeah. I got the first.
Loves us.
I got the first. It's like a comic book. I got the first edition print.
First edition print.
No, but it is neat though, because there's something in me that's like, do you open it because it's Jason's first kit, and then you're like,
Right.
it's kind of, I don't know, it's like a little bit of sentimental value to it, just because it's like, everyone's watched you grow, and now this is the first one, but it needs to be built, so we're gonna build it.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
but I do like the fact that you the artwork is like vibrant on your pictures. The one thing that's never fun about getting a kit, and we've all experienced this, when you get a kit and the photo's like really not well lit, and it's the blurry, the packaging's kind of a grainy photo, and that's just you did a great job with the first one. I have not got my hands on the second one yet, but I will say with both of your kits, the one thing that I'm happy to see you do is you're starting, not that you're always going to have these kinds of kits, but you're starting affordable for people to get them, kind of get their feet wet with your kits, and not have to spend $300 for your first kit. They're $40, and you get 2 cool little railroad crossing buildings, and the other one's only $70, and it's a pretty sweet looking garage. It gets a cool laser cut sign. But I just like the idea that you're not trying to bite everything at once. You're just kind of growing your kit sizes as you grow too.
And I'm gonna add to what Brett's saying with your kit. When I saw the kit for the first time, when you ran the ad on Facebook and it's advertised, we threw it up ourselves on our page, and when I saw that photos of the garage, and the other one, but mainly now the garage, because it's getting bigger, it's a lot more detail to this thing, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is so cool in a different way, in a different way than seeing other kits. What I'm seeing here now is everybody likes the way Jason builds his kits when he made them through the last bunch of years, right? For the last 7 years that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody likes it. That's what build up your audience. And now when I see the kit picture on the front, I see that it's like we talked about this before with other modelers and ourselves even. When I look at one of your builds, when it's first put up on Facebook, I say, that's Jason Jensen built that, because it has all the features and designs of how you build it. Even if it was somebody else's kit and you build it, it still looked like Jason Jensen built it.
It's your signature.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But now that kit is designed by Jason Jensen. So when you build it, it's good. Our builds are going to look like Jason Jensen's, and a lot of people are going to love that. They're going to be able to look at that and go, I'm going to build one, and it's going to look like Jason Jensen's. When I build a Fosco model, generally, even though we all try to add our own twist to it, it looks like a Fosco model. It looks like a KC workshop.
Yeah, you can pick out the manufacturers once you start playing around with most of them.
Right, exactly.
But
and so now people are going to go, you know what? I'm going to build a Jason Jensen kit, and it's going to look like a Jason Jensen model. It even comes with a little aqua blue paint bottle in it. No, I'm kidding you.
Well,
but,
and every kit that I do, I'll offer I'll do a YouTube video. To show how to put it together. So I think that's pretty helpful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you've been doing that. And that's another thing I could tell. It was in your head a long time ago. Yeah. I'm gonna build kits, and then I'm gonna put the video up of how to build my kit on the video. You know? And everybody's used to going there and seeing how I build kits.
Sure.
Now they're gonna buy my kit, go, hey, how the hell do I build it, Jason? He's gonna show me on the video now that I spent money at his place to buy the kit.
I got a question, Jason. Are you gonna do the video when you build the model for photos? That way people can do it if they want, as the photo is on the box or the packaging. Well, or you could do them after the fact.
It's funny because I do them first. I actually do it first. So the hard thing about it is, and I'll be honest, when I build it, in my head, I'm thinking there's a better way to do this. So the instructions I feel are better because I write the instructions after I built it.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah, so I figure out things, maybe better ways to do something, and I change it when I write the instructions. So it's not always best to follow my video, but it's together.
Once you put a couple together,
it still all comes together at the end.
It's funny you mentioned the instructions because when you first came up with the kit, one of the first people that contacted me when your kit came out was Dave Cruzwick, and he said, "You got to get him on the show, Todd. You got to get him on the show. He just put that kit out. You got to get on." And I was like, "That's the instruction guy." Dave was always the instruction guy for other manufacturers. Yep. And so now you're talking about that. And I think back to when Dave was doing it. He always told us one of the hardest things about kits or kit manufacturing. And I've heard it from Doug. I've heard it from
Kenny.
Grove,
and
Kenny. And it's the hardest thing is doing the instructions.
That's why they call Dave.
That's right.
Yep.
I don't think he's doing that much anymore.
No, he's back to modeling.
Crazy building now.
He's back to modeling again, though, too.
But anyhow, so are you finding the instructions easy or hard to do, or the hardest part to do?
They're very difficult to do. Yeah, it really is.
And you got to figure out.
I have no problem showing how to do it in a video, but to put it into words and describe it to someone,
right?
And you really have to write instructions as if someone has never built a Craftsman kit before.
And if you notice when people, I'm sure you're realizing this too, and we've all seen this, almost like every set of instructions has to cover the same basic intro. The Doug's kits are very similar where, there's always that first chunk that after you read them for the first couple kits, you're like, I read that already. Why am I reading this? And then you can dig into the meat of like, okay, what's up with this particular, setup. But now the one thing I wanted to know is with maybe not with the first ones because those were kind of just smaller railroad crossing buildings, but was there an inspiration behind your newer one, the Fast Eddies?
I'd come up with the sign first. I don't know what inspired the sign, but I just came up with that design of Fast Eddy oil change.
Mm-hmm.
And then I designed the structure afterwards.
You built the building around the sign.
Yeah, yep. So it's kind of a weird way to do it, but I really liked the sign and I liked how it turned out. And so I knew with the size of the sign, it kind of determined the length of the structure and how wide it was. So yeah.
Well, you can do like,
but it wasn't based on anything. I just made it up.
No, that's better.
Yeah.
You can do what I did though, and you said the size of the sign dictates the size of the building. Well, I made that one pizza shop where the sign is like, it's a rooftop sign like yours. It's a large lettering, laser cut letters, but the sign is like it's a tiny little building. It's not very narrow, not very wide, and the sign is the exact width of the rooftop. But it's neat because we stuck it down in like a little alleyway, so the sign is oversized for the building, but it brings it out of the alleyway a little bit. Otherwise, it would just kind of be hidden in between these two monster buildings.
Yeah.
So, but it's the same thing. Like the same with this. The sign emphasizes the building more than just if you cover up the sign with your hand. I'm doing it on my screen. I apologize.
Yeah.
And then the building changes just by adding that kind of rooftop signage to it.
Yeah. Cool.
Now, when you selected your signage for let's go with the newest kit with Fast Eddies, were they? Did you did that on your?
You guys keep talking. I'll be back in 1 second.
Yeah, sure. You did that on what kind of program? I mean, you sit and just figured it out and designed your own.
Yeah, the first thing I did was just pencil and paper, and I just sketched it out. And I sketched it out a few times to get a rough idea of, how I wanted it to look.
Right.
And, with both kits that I've put out so far, I wanted it to work for a wide what's the word I'm looking for? To fit many different years, to go from maybe
eras,
anywhere from 30s to, I don't know, as far as maybe the 60s or even 70s.
Okay.
So
different time eras.
Yeah.
Like a universal thing. So if it doesn't, and I think that we see that that's a common theme with a lot of manufacturers. Try and do that, so that makes your kit more universal, sign wise. But it's great because now when it's neat for us to see that with your sign work, because we know that outside of the modeling world, you have an art world that you live in as well.
Oh yeah.
And so that is a natural thing for you that you're able to give everybody. It's one thing to be able to design them on a program. Lots of people can do that. Okay. Get on a special graphics program and start working with, templates and things like that for making signs. Okay. But it's another thing when you have the art background that you do as a profession, to be able to incorporate that into your work, not just into the signage of the building, but into the graphics on the box and the packaging and everything else.
Yes.
I noticed that Doug does a very good job of that as well. It's all part of the marketing part of things. Of course, Brett's into marketing as well, so he completely understands what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But Doug, I don't come from that background, but I can see that.
Yeah, Doug's incredible at graphic design work. He really is.
Yeah.
So,
and that, like you said, you got a lot of talking with Doug to help you. So that's awesome that you can take into account what he tells you. And
I really hope
you guys are good friends as well. So we all are, but
I hope that I inspire other people maybe to start their own company. The more the better. It just helps. It helps the hobby, definitely. So I'm not in competition with anyone. I want everyone to be putting out kits to grow the hobby.
Right. Yeah. Who wants their layout to have all the same company's kits?
Yeah.
You want to mix them up and make it look good, right?
Yeah.
And as we are all modelers, we all know each other. We're all friends, so we're all sitting there going, "Oh, I want to build one of Jason's. I want to build one of Doug's. I want to build, and you want to try them all. So just because you're a modeler, just because you're now a kit manufacturer, that part of you in your head is still a modeler, and you're gonna get a hold of the newest kit that somebody else is making. I know Jason. And go, I'm building that damn thing, right? So,
yes.
And I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. We're going to have a lot of questions, by the way, as I put a post up on our Facebook group, in our Overtime at the Bench group, with you as a guest. And so there's a bunch of questions. So we got to be careful on what we ask you here because, because I don't want to ruin their questions as well.
Yeah.
But, in fact, before we go deeper into your kit, why don't we go to these questions now, Brett? What do you think?
Yeah.
And then we can and then he can answer those, and then we can throw in anything extra so we don't overlap the questions.
Yeah, that's fine. So, let me go there.
You're going to open them up and you're going to ask him? Yeah, because I'm terrible at reading questions off my phone or anything else, even off a computer. I am horrible at narrating something. If I can't just say it off the tip of my tongue, then me reading it to you is going to be awful.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, give me a second here to pull them up.
Yeah, everybody's heard me botch this stuff.
Well, it is funny. We do have a good time with it, but for the sake of...
I've had such a blast, though, starting this company, and it has really, like I said, it's consumed my life. It really has. The hours that go into it. I thought I knew from working with other companies, but now I really know. Now, it's just night and day, 24/7.
Oh yeah.
You're constantly, checking for orders, making sure that you have enough supplies, fulfilling orders, designing, constantly trying to come up with another kit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Welcome to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, right.
Alrighty. I'm gonna start out here. First one is from
It's cool. I'm glad it's taken off. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. First one is from Ron P. Now that he, Jason, is a kit manufacturer, has it sparked any new ideas for your layout?
Well, now I am designing kits that fit my layout. And so
it's the benefit of having your own laser.
Yeah, right. So I guess the good news for people is that if you buy a kit, chances are that kit's going to be somewhere on my layout. Because I'm planning to put everything I put out, on my layout. Actually, the next one that I'm working on fits a specific area on my layout. So,
a la fine scale miniature style with George.
Yeah, right. Yep.
He did that with all his kits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, brilliant.
So
that's cool.
Nice. I got two from Scott, a couple from Scott. One's for my dad, but that's a different question. So, Jason, why don't you have alignment tabs on your new kit shacks? I don't know what that means.
Alignment tabs. I don't know what that means.
What do you mean by that? What's that mean?
I'm not sure. Why don't you have alignment tabs on your new kit shacks? I don't know.
I don't know.
What the hell is an alignment?
Is it corner? Like the corner?
Alignment what?
No, you got corner pieces. I'm trying to open it up. I don't want to open it yet, though.
It's alignment what?
Alignment tabs.
Tabs.
Scott, further clarification is needed. I'm sorry. The next one is also from Scott. Do you airbrush? And if so, what paint do you use for it?
Oh, I do airbrush, and I'm airbrushing more and more. It's really for more of the sci-fi modeling that I do. I'm really having fun with it. And the paint I use is from Ammo. Now, you don't have to use paint from Ammo, but there's so many companies that make airbrush ready paint. So you do want to use paint that's already made for the airbrush. You don't have to thin it, and then you just run cleaner through it. It has simplified things so much with the airbrush, because I remember I started using the airbrush back when I was in high school, and I was using craft paint and thinning it with water, and it was constantly clogging because craft paint is not consistent.
Right.
It just is not consistent.
Yeah, it's a little on the thick side.
Yeah, you'll get some little chunks in there, and so you're constantly, either using a Q-tip or a paintbrush, and you're dipping it in water and cleaning the end of the airbrush, and
oh my,
it just was such a hassle. But nowadays, like I said, I use Ammo paint, and it is made for the airbrush. You just put a little bit in there, and it is good to go. And those little bottles last so long. They really do. It doesn't take much at all in an airbrush.
Even when you're using Meg or Ammo for painting with like just a paintbrush, it lasts forever.
Yes, it really does.
Last one is from Scott, and this is from my dad. When can we hear a pro NMRA podcast?
A what?
A pro NMRA podcast, not a con. Like pros and cons.
That's never happening. They might not like that, and it may piss off some NRA people.
I just had to get him fired up by saying that. I'm sorry.
It's not a pro or negative thing. I had an observation.
See, look what we've done, Jason.
I did a rant on it.
I know,
I'm not doing a podcast on the NMRA. If you like it and you enjoy it and you get your jollies out of it and you want to run your choo-choos, you go ahead. That's your thing. That's not my thing. That's over. We're done with that rant.
Okay, good.
I hope you enjoy
Are you
it.
sure?
I am done.
How do you really feel, Todd?
You know what else we could do?
That's how I feel.
Jason, I can always do this too. Hey, Dad, tell me how you really feel.
We're poking the bear.
I just mute him. That's the better thing about Zoom is I could just mute you. All right. Oh, shoot. Now I got to ask to unmute him. Oh, shoot. Now, you got to unmute, Dad. I'm sorry.
Idiot.
I was playing a trick and then it backfired. All right, that question's over with. Let's move on.
Get that out of there. Get that out of there. We're not going there again. That's the end of that.
All right, from Greg. Any thoughts on a sci-fi kit offer, like a pizza shop from Toy Story or 50s type futuristic structures that have cropped up? Have you thought about doing anything non-187th scale, basically?
Damn, I was going to add something along that lines, but
that would be cool. It really would be.
And then Scott, who just fired up my dad, said he wants the Florida shop from Little Shop of Horrors.
Well, that explains a lot.
Maybe someday. I would love to do some sci-fi kits that fit. I mean, they're large though, because the figures I use are 3 3/4 of an inch tall. They're like the Star Wars and G.I. Joe figures. So that's a big kit.
Yeah, that's a lot.
A big kit. But, yeah.
On that note, before we go any further, because I want to. The sci-fi, I have a guy that works with me, and he asked me today because he knew I was going to have you on the show.
Does he know of Jason's channel?
Yes, he does. He does sci-fi modeling. He just got into it. Him and his son do it. His son's Brett's age, and he's a little younger than me. And anyhow, his name's Rob, and Rob wanted to know because he sees some of the sci-fi diorama stuff that's out there, like kind of like 35 millimeter military diorama, but for sci-fi model figures like you do.
Sure. Yeah.
And he was wondering if that's something you may ever get into, where you do like a diorama kit that you can put together, has all the parts, because you can do certain scenes from different Star Wars or without using the name Star Wars, because you get in a lot of trouble that way.
Yeah.
But you can make something that looks similar to the scene, like the same design windows and things like that in a bar, in one of those swanky space bar things, But and he was like, is that he was thinking that might be something that him and others would be interested in, because it's an untapped market right now. Yeah. He said there's not a lot of that out there, but and
I think someday I will. I'm just not to that point yet. And the next major purchase for me will be a 3D printer.
Yeah.
So between a 3D printer and a laser cutter, man,
you have your hands full, dude.
Yeah, it's.
You already got your hands full, but wow.
But it's incredible. It just allows me, like anything that I can think of, I'll be able to produce.
Hey, Doug's going to be hiring soon, Brett.
Doug's going to be what?
He's going to be hiring help. We're going to have to move out to Colorado and work for Doug.
You mean Jason?
Not Doug.
Doug's
Jason.
not in Colorado.
I'll work for Doug too. But But I mean, Jason's going to hire out in Colorado. We're going to have to come out and help him. And he's going to need help. He's got his wife and his son, and then he's going to have a whole production studio, a shop, the whole works. We're relocating.
Well,
and then we won't be far from Oklahoma, so we can go see football games.
Yeah, it's only 8-hour drive.
Yeah,
I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm not right. I might not be right on that.
So 3D printing is something you want to get into as well.
Yes, definitely.
On that note, before we go any further with the questions.
Yeah.
Castings and stuff. Are they 3D printing castings? Or what castings do you use with your kits?
Well, right now.
I talked about it last week.
Yeah, right now I'm using castings from Rusty Rail.
Okay. They're great, by the way.
Yeah.
They're awesome castings.
Thrilled with I'm good friends with Rick, who owns Rusty Rail, and it's just been a pleasure working with him. And I'll just keep using his castings in the kits, and eventually later on, I'll probably put in some of my own 3D printed parts whenever I, get into the 3D printing. So yeah,
whenever you have like 4 hours of sleep you can spare.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yep.
I can't imagine. You don't get any sleep before. You ever got any sleep before this started out. You get any sleep at all now?
No.
Jason, has your coffee
How's that
intake
even
increased?
happened for you?
Yeah, I think it has. Yeah.
Holy cow.
The Folgers company
All
is
right, sorry,
the
I don't want to get into that.
The Folgers company is very happy.
Yes.
All right, let's get into the next question. This is from Ian. I know Jason likes using the Ammo MIG paints, but I also see him still using craft paints in his videos sometimes. I'd love to know about his process on when he uses one or the other and for what purposes.
I like to continue using craft paint because some people, maybe it's not in their budget to get the ammo paint, or they don't have easy access for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you can get the craft paint anywhere.
Yeah. Yep. I go back and forth because I want to appeal to people just starting out and also to advanced modelers. So I'm really just about trying to help all the modelers in the hobby.
Yeah.
So
that's
the only reason I use both.
Yeah, we don't need to look any deeper. That's a good enough answer.
Yeah.
Ken, turning your hobby into a business, do you fear that it will turn passion into a chore? Thank you. And he just says, thank you for the YouTube videos. They've helped him improve his modeling so much, and they inspire him to spend more time at the bench. But are you worried about it feeling like becoming a chore? I think I already know the answer, but let's hear from you.
I've had a lot of people ask me about that, and I will just say no, because my passion is art and creativity.
Yeah, and
so
you're helping other people.
I have been doing art. Yeah,
you're helping other people.
So I've been doing
expand their passions for art and creativity too.
Exactly. I've done art my entire life, ever since I was a little kid, and so I never get tired of that next project or next job. I just love it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
From Brad, has Jason or the Wileys ever built a building and then decided later on to change it somehow or redo it? Oh, have we? I'm sure Jason's in the same boat as us. I would think there's more builds I haven't done that with than I have.
I have some that I actually have some structures I've started and never finished. For whatever reason, I got sidetracked or, I don't know, lost interest and just never got back to it.
You ever seen Toy Story?
That quite answers it, but
have you ever seen Toy Story, Jason? You know when he's done with the Woody doll and he drops it and it's like, I'm done with you, and he drops the. Sometimes I feel like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like that with a kit, because you either hit a block with it or just nothing flowing on it, and then you just put it down, start something else, and you never go back to the old thing again. It's old news, and for some reason we always just shove it away and forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that on quite a few models already. Yeah, or some scratch built stuff. Remember when I was trying to do that red light district thing, and I kept designing new buildings for that whole street row?
Yeah.
And I got to doing it, and I had all kinds of plans to add. Like I did one giant city block, okay, and it had like 4 businesses down the one side, and then I did that church that was going to fit on the one corner across the street from it, and we were going to have like the bad porno district thing next to the church.
Yeah,
you know,
the seedy,
I even went out and bought
area.
the hooker HO scale hookers and the HO scale nuns, and we were going to have a battle on the street, and we're still going to do that, by the way. But now on our layout, we moved. Well, we did that. We put that section on there, but the church is all the way across the other side of town, so that's kind of different. But here's what happened. I had an intention of doing a whole nother row of buildings across the street from it and behind it on the back alley side. And I just got to the point where I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done being a pervert. And no, like that. But, I'm done with building smutty businesses, and And then I let it go for like 2 months, and then I kicked another one up, going, oh, you know what? Let's get back on that. And then in the middle of it, I lost total interest, and I took that whole piece, and I just trashed it. Nobody ever saw it or anything else. I only got a little bit way with it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm done. It's as far as it's going. And yeah, I've done that. I've altered stuff.
Yeah.
I've trashed stuff. I've unfinished stuff. I have stuff like Jason said, and Brett too. We all have stuff that's sitting on our shelf that we never finished. I have 4 buildings up there that I got started and I got bored with them, you know. And
well, I think I mentioned it to Todd that I just recently started the Metzger building from models.
How you like
that's
that?
my newest project. I'm having fun with it, and it's so much fun that I'm not having to make it as a kit and do all the work that comes with that.
You just get to assemble it.
Fun building it. Yeah,
and that's good though.
I am recording
That's going to
it,
keep you from burning you out.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
If you focus just on your own stuff and you're not building the other things that you enjoy doing, and you are going to run into that question we had that said,
that's right.
you know, what you're not. It's become a chore instead. You don't want it to become that a chore. So that's a cool building. Metzger building is a cool building.
It's an awesome building.
I'm having fun with it. I'm working on the sci-fi layout too, sort of at the same time, and I'm custom cutting things now with my laser cutter for the sci-fi layout, and I'm getting some 3D printed pieces for it. So I'm finally getting to do like super detailed work like I have been on my HO scale layout. Mm-hmm. Now I'm getting to do that on the sci-fi layout. And so I'm so excited about it because it's just going to be over the top detailed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Very cool. Let's do the next question.
Okay.
We kind of got off track, but that's fine. That was a good one. This is from Matthew. Jason, now that you have 2 kits on the market, what are your intentions for how many new kits per year? And will you be planning out an annual limited run kit like many manufacturers? So this is asking a lot of a first year for business. I'm sure you have plans. So if you do have anything, you don't need to commit. Don't commit on the show to anything more than you're comfortable with at all. But, you don't want to overpromise, underdeliver.
Yeah, we don't want to pressure you into saying
oh, God. I feel pressured. No.
Peer pressure.
Well, we put Doug on it. When we have Doug on, we put Doug on the spot with this stuff. So
I don't know how to answer that. I'm just doing I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm going to try to do
just take it in stride.
A kit a month or a kit every other month. Yeah, I do have plans though. Before I even put out my first kit, I had 8 drawings, 8 really good solid drawings that I knew that eventually I wanted to make those into kits. So they'll all get made eventually. I just don't know when. I think it's probably safe to say I'd like to put out one more kit before the end of the year. I mean, that's only, a month and a half away.
Yeah, I mean, you're running out of time, man.
I know. It could fall into January, but it'll be a month or 2, and then I'll probably put out another one.
Okay. That's safe.
And I don't
that's
know. So many people have asked me about this big year-end kit, and to me, it seems overwhelming and almost scary right now.
Yeah, let's just
how much work is involved in just putting out 2 kits.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure someday, but no time soon.
Yeah, let's get you building out some processes for some normal routine kits right now.
Yeah,
that's how I would feel. Next one is from WSD Model Works. Jason, do you listen to music? We've talked about this. Do you listen to music while building or working? And if so, what?
I do, and I'm a huge blues fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I love having music on when I'm working.
Now, what kind of
it's
blues
not always.
are you into most?
Such a wide variety.
Okay, because blues is like there's a lot. There's even variety within the blues genre that you can get.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yep. Definitely. And I listen to a very wide variety of blues. So
Nice.
yeah.
I go and
really heavy. Like I like guitar players. I like very talented guitar players.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like a good mix.
I like blues. I like jazzy blues. You know, I'm into that. I like jazz, but there is blues that are based on jazz, and I like that as well. So yeah,
I've been into really like swanky 40s and 30s like swing music of late. I've been listening to it at work, and the kids at work for me they'll come in and they're like, "What are you listening to?" It's like old people music. I'm like, "This is good music. What are you talking about?" It's exciting, but yeah.
I've listened to that too.
It's good. It's just like,
Yeah.
It gets a beat.
I can't be
blues is the same way
all the time.
Blues is you'll become cynical. Yeah, blues is the same way. Like it gets your foot tapping, or just get you into a groove.
Yeah. Yep. Right.
All right, last one from Matthew again, but this is a good one. We kind of hit on it earlier. Does Jason have a favorite coffee, or will any caffeine work?
Gosh, I'm trying to think of the name of it. I think it's Rocky Mountain Roaster, and I just discovered it. Like maybe it could have been as far back as 5 or 6 months ago.
Okay.
And it's here in Colorado, and it is my favorite by far.
Okay. So it's like a regional roaster.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
What kind do you like, Brett?
Well, currently I have Maxwell House. But I go in like these spurts. Like I'll buy better brand coffees, and then I'll buy cheap stuff, or I don't know. I like coffee. I don't have a really I'm not that picky as long as it's coffee. You know what I mean?
I like Tim Hortons. I've been into Tim Hortons lately.
I do like the there's a company over here in Carlisle that's got they grind it. And then there's one in Camp. This is local to us, Jason, but there's one in Camp Hill, Dad, that's called the Lonely Monk. It's a roaster, or it's in Lemoyne. I'm sorry. Yeah. Lonely Monk, and they do their own roasting, and I've picked that up at work for my teams, and it's a pretty good coffee as well. But
cool.
But like I said,
I always buy the beans and grind it myself because I think it just tastes so much fresher.
I buy the big blue tub of Maxwell House. So this is funny. Yeah. I will buy the beans, Jason, but I have the same tub for like the last, 4 years. I won't throw the tub out. And when I buy bean coffee, I grind it and I just dump it in the tub. And then I just keep it at that same tub. And it probably is a coffee connoisseur is cringing at me because they're like, "Oh, you're mixing flavors and the flavor in the tub's going to mess up the." But like,
oh my God.
I'm not that picky. I just like
I'm a K-cup guy. I'm just a K-cup guy.
Now, Jason,
except at work.
Oh, go ahead.
We used whatever Costco had in a big giant bag, and the company buys that, and we just scoop it out of this big giant bag for the coffee maker. But at home, I'm a K-cupper.
Jason, are you a black coffee kind of guy, or do you like anything in your coffee?
Black.
Yeah, you put stuff in your coffee?
No, I do not. Nope.
Just black. Me neither.
Join the club. Only. I want some straight up coffee. Yep. The only thing I want in my coffee is coffee.
But I won't drink Sanka instant coffee.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Nope.
No, I have my lows, and that's.
Nope, I'd just rather have water for that matter.
I will not do Sanka.
So we answered the questions online, and that we had. So real quick, before we get back into your modeling and the kit manufacturing, which will be part of this, tell people how they can go check out your your website and your store and where to order it and how to go about doing that?
Sure. You can. Everything is under Jason Jensen Trains. And that is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. It's all Jason Jensen Trains.
The website.
And let me mention, once again, there's no O in my last name.
Huh?
It's not.
Oh, I see.
There's no Jason Jensen.
Jensen.
Right?
So many people say, "Oh, I can't find your website," and like, there's no O in the last name, and once they put an E, then they get there.
That's funny. That's funny that that happens. Yeah. It's like people spelling Wiley, calling us Willie instead of Wiley.
If we get a phone call, if I get a phone call and they're like, "Hey, it's Mr. Willie there," I know immediately it's a spam call. They're trying to sell me Windows. They're trying to sell me Windows, or it's a political poll.
Or they spell Wiley WYLE or W, like Wiley, or they spell it like Wiley Coyote.
Yeah.
And we get that all the time. And but I completely get it. And then for you guys,
it's an easy mistake.
Yeah, and this is Jason Jensen Trains.
Yep.
And I love the fact that I've noticed that before. Everything you have is just Jason Jensen Trains, no matter where you go, and that is keeping it very easy and simple to remember for everybody.
Yep.
That's cool.
Definitely.
That's cool.
That's the end of the questions.
And then you go to your website, jasonjensentrains.com.
Yes.
To the website, and then there is a store online that you could shop when you hit the shop button.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
And
he's got additional resources. I didn't click that yet because I was so excited about the kits. Links coming soon.
Yeah, haven't updated that yet.
Okay, all right. We'll wait.
So I now have Amazon affiliates. So that's what that page will consist of.
Gotcha.
Links to everything that I use that's on Amazon. And
brilliant.
Yeah. So on my YouTube videos, I put links in the description of stuff maybe I'm using in a certain episode.
Yep.
And people can go to Amazon, click on it, and then I get a very small percentage.
You get like 4 cents for every $10 purchased, but it's 4 cents you didn't have before.
Yep. No,
but that's smart though.
So now packaging. When you do the pack, so what all you had to do to get started with doing packaging and when your production of the kits, what all's involved that you have to. You've had to do to make sure that you're putting all the pieces in and all that. I mean, this is all a new learning process for you.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah.
And with each kit, you kind of have an assembly line, making sure that every part gets put in there, and I'm printing my own instructions on my copier here in the office, and just getting everything put in the bag and then in the envelope, and it's a lot. It really is.
Yeah.
Very time consuming.
It's what is something that you didn't think would be as time consuming or be as much of an obstacle that ended up being more than you thought it would, as far as the kit assembly?
Oh, that's a good question.
Something it was like an oversight. We're like, well, this won't be that bad, and then once you're into it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is more than I thought.
I think time at the laser, actually cutting all the parts, and on the first kit, there is thin laser board. It's kind of a cream color. It's just called laser board, and all the detail parts are cut in that, like the windows,
the
doors, the signs.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't even know how many I can get on a full sheet. I think a full sheet is, I'm blanking on measurements now, but anyways, it takes almost a full hour for me to print a full sheet of all that stuff. Now, granted, there's like maybe 8 or 9. I can get 8 or 9 kits on one sheet, but still, an hour time, and then you're cutting the walls, you're cutting the task board, you're cutting the cardboard for the roof. There's hours and hours and hours of time spent cutting, and I don't think I realized how long it took to actually cut everything.
Yeah.
Do you ever just sit there and watch the laser moving around on it?
Actually, you
And
pretty
you
much
get
have to.
mesmerized?
Well, you kind of have to, because you can't walk away from the laser, because if a fire starts,
Yeah.
that would be horrible.
Right.
Yeah, not a good day. That's not a good day.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So you have to physically, either I'm watching it or my son's watching it, but you have to keep an eye on that laser cutter at all times, because even if you turn around for a few seconds, if a piece of wood or a piece of cardboard caught on fire, that whole piece would instantly go up in flames, and it would damage the inside of your laser.
Yeah.
There's like belts. There's a belt that carries the laser, and that would just all have to be replaced.
Yeah.
It would be
Cheaper
bad.
than getting a new piece of wood in there if it got damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you really have to keep an eye on it. So to answer your question, laser cutting takes more time than what I thought it would.
It's not like 3D printing where you can push start and walk away, and it's not gonna. For the most part, it's pretty safe to walk away from it for a little bit and come back when your prints are done.
That's right.
And actually, 3D printing, especially 3D printing when it's in extruding out of the tray, it's not exciting to watch. Like, it's mesmerizing to watch the laser burn the patterns out and jump around. But the 3D printer, when it's printing like 0.001 millimeters at a time, it's not very exciting. You can't just sit there and watch it. And if you do, you probably should check yourself into a mental ward, because that is, I don't know how you could watch that. You can't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting. I didn't think about that. You can't walk away.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it's a laser.
There's so much more that you don't think of. Like, an entire exhaust system has to be hooked up, and it has to be vented outside. I now just got a air filter system for air in the shop to be filtered.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot more. It seems like my son and I keep a list of things that we need to buy for the shop, because it's like every day. Oh, and another thing that I didn't think about was the storage of all the product for all the clapboard siding, all the strip wood, all the cardboard. I mean, these are giant pieces. The cardboard is quite large, and it just eats up room storing all that stuff.
And you want to keep it stored in a place where it's easy to access it.
That's right.
To use it.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, same with when you've cut all the pieces and you go to assemble them into kit boxes. I mean, we went up to Doug's and we got to see in his shop.
Oh yeah.
How he has everything down. It's an assembly line.
Yeah.
Where he just rolls down and he's got like certain numbers for certain parts go into the boxes as he goes along. It was a very, very, very well thought out plan, and I guess with each kit it varies how that is set up.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
his shop is very impressive.
Oh yeah.
Super
Were you there?
Impressive. I have not. I've only seen pictures, and I've done video chat with him. So yeah.
It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. And then he's got a shelf layout in there. That's pretty cool too.
That was the weekend we went to go see the Franklin South Manchester and Doug's shop in the same weekend, and that was pretty.
That's awesome.
That was a inspiring moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
My entire basement is just, it's full. It really is. It's full. And I've even moved up to the dining room. Our dining room is like shipping and receiving.
That's
well,
so
God,
funny.
Bless your wife and your son there for allowing it to take over the house. But it is fun.
Yep.
I mean, what do you think your son's opinion of doing this is and working with you?
I don't know. he's pretty quiet, and he's he's like a tech genius. He just loves the computer side of it and all the technical stuff. And I'm not very tech savvy, but my son is. He just has no fear, and so he's helped a lot in that department. So,
now, does he have any interest in the modeling part of it?
No.
No. Yeah.
So he's very excited about getting a 3D printer. Very excited.
Do you think he would be able
That may be great, Dan.
Do you think he'd be able to figure out and learn the 3D modeling softwares?
I think so.
That might maybe that'll draw his
attention. Sounds like he's pretty excited about figuring that out.
Yeah, that might
Jason's
draw.
over there crossing his fingers, going, "I hope so," because I don't want to have to fool with all that too.
Right, but that would be neat if he could. If don't count your chickens before they hatch, kind of thing. But if he were to pick that up and then he gets into the 3D modeling side of it, you could kind of sick him loose on that part of the business and just, hey man, I need this designed. Can you just design a X for me, and then I'll set you loose on the printer.
Yep. And I'm so excited about 3D parts for the sci-fi modeling.
Yeah.
There's just so much that I want to produce with that,
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Like I told you, my buddy said there's a whole niche you could get into that really hasn't been tapped on that scale yet. So, just an idea.
Very cool.
But he was he told me to tell you that, so that way, if you ever do that he can jump in on buying and stuff. So.
Now, Dad, did you introduce him to Jason?
I did.
His channel? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was
he was already.
I didn't know if it was a situation where he was like already knew Jason and he was talking about it one day and you're like, oh yeah, I know Jason. Like we talked to him.
No.
Okay.
No, we were at work. He saw my modeling. I did mainly when I did that military model with the 35th scale, 1/35th scale model, the tank model and the diorama, and I brought it in. I sat it at work, and during the process of making that, he was just now starting to do some sci-fi stuff that he saw online. He's a big Star Wars guy, and he was doing some of that stuff with his son, just getting started in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to talking about modeling because, well, let's face it, HO scale modeling, whether you're into the trains or you're not, building the structures, doing the diorama, building a diorama for it, or a layout, is not much different or far removed outside of the scale size of doing a military model or doing a sci-fi model. You're just changing the style of model. So the artistic side that we all have, it all plays into your experiences can help one another. Yeah. And so as a result, he was learning things by me talking to him at work about the modeling I do for HO scale modeling. And then all of a sudden I said, hey, you know what? Because he told me him and his son just started doing some kind of a diorama thing in their house. It's on a shelf too, like yours. It's the same deal. It's also part of the wall. It's got guys rappelling down off this wall.
Great.
That he made like a cliff, and it's like different shelves that are going from. It's pretty cool, and
nice.
I can't even explain it all. But anyhow, I said, hey, check out Jason Jensen's website here, and then check out his YouTube channel, and he shows all the stuff he's been designing and doing with that, and he's got some videos up on it. And now he's into it,
Cool.
So,
I think modeling in general has really taken off.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know what?
I think YouTube is a big part of that.
You think that was a COVID thing? It kind of kicked everybody into that?
Maybe so. Maybe
they
so.
Didn't have. They were bored or at home, or they don't.
I think
some people weren't working, and
I think that probably kicked it off. And hear me out. I'm going to make a prediction. Even though things are not getting cheaper, people are going to start to look to do more things at home here over the next year or two. Obviously, nothing's getting cheaper, and kits aren't getting cheaper. Not saying that, but Jason and Doug, we've all talked about this. Where if you think about your, what do you call it, like cost per hour of a kit, of how much enjoyment you get out of it. I think people are starting to realize and kind of get back to doing things at home. And whether you're by yourself and you're single, or you can get your kids involved with it, or you're not by yourself and you got your kids, and it's the way you can escape for a couple hours in your basement. So a kit might cost $70, and it might cost you some time and resources to get a collection of paints or whatever. Everyone builds that with time. So, and that's something we've all learned is as you do it more, you accumulate the tools to do these kits appropriately.
Yep.
But I think you're still going to see a climb in it because of people looking to do more things at home and save some money and just entertain themselves at home now.
Yeah, it's hours of enjoyment.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's $70 or it's $100, but if you spent 20 or 30 hours doing it, it only costs you like a couple dollars an hour. Where can you get entertainment like that?
You have something in front of you that you get to keep and enjoy and that you're proud of.
Right.
So it's not like you're going to the movie theater and spending all this money and then walking away with nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Except greasy popcorn, greasy popcorn hands.
Yeah.
And here, this way, you can build it and turn the damn movie on and watch it on your TV.
That's right.
Yeah.
I do think
see the movie.
I do think the other thing that's cool about it is, like I've done a couple builds that just don't work with what we want to do on our layout, Jason. So I take them to work and I put them on my desk. And the military, and same with the military diorama that I did. I also put that on my desk at work. And people that aren't even in the modeling see it, and it's cool because, it's mine. I made it, and now other people who don't really probably care about it outside of going, oh, what is that? That's neat. And they look at it for a few minutes, but there's like that, they might not be artistic, but they still share that joy of like. They follow my page and they see what I do, and I think that, like you said earlier, the advent of us sharing everything on YouTube and Facebook and whatever has attracted people who don't even model that follow us, and you're probably the same way. They just follow you to see what you do, which is neat. I love seeing that. That's actually just as exciting as someone who does model.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
So.
And I'm still working on my layout. I know people ask me.
I was going to go there next. So
now that you're doing kits, you probably won't work on your layout, but I still am. And I think the last video I did on my layout was I did the cobblestone street with styrofoam.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
that was a fun project. I mean, it took a while to cut all the styrofoam and glue it all down, but I think the end result was cool.
Yeah, that turned out really nice. And
so I'm anxious to get into doing scenery work because I really haven't touched on that with scenery and like making trees and doing all of that stuff. So there's so much more coming up on my layout and on the sci-fi layout. So. Dang. Not enough hours in a day, right?
No. And we think you're a vampire anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
He doesn't get any sleep. And he's gonna have to buy coffee in large supplies. But now
so I got a question. Speaking of being a vampire, what do you think your most productive time of day is? Not from work, not work. If you're gonna build, when do you like really get into a groove with your creativity? When do you feel like that happens the most?
Man, that is a tough question because I try to be productive all through the day, morning, night. I don't know how to really answer that. I just or because I don't sleep a lot and I'm just always building something.
So instead of that, is there a because I'm this way with creative projects and with I do a lot of development where I'm staring at a screen, and that sometimes you really have to get into a zone and focus.
Sure.
And I find it usually takes me like 30 to 45 minutes to hit that groove when I'm working on something, and I can just focus in on it. Do you have that where when you sit down, it takes you some time to really feel like, all right, I'm in it now, and now I don't want to get out because I'm hitting that part.
The best I can answer this question is that I do better in like the fall and winter. The summertime is hard for me because I don't really enjoy heat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like being hot. Granted, I'm in the basement and I'll have air conditioning, but the heat just kind of drains me. It makes me tired. So I am way more productive in the fall and winter time. It's just how I am.
Okay.
So with all the time you spend on modeling and building and now doing the business,
Yeah.
so what do you? This is a weird question, but when you decide you're going to eat your meals and stuff. Do you go upstairs and eat dinner with the family, or does Maitri open the door and throw a tin plate down on the steps and go, "Here's your dinner," and you grab it like a troll and run to your corner and you just shovel it in.
She's working. Work. Yep, that's right. No, I eat dinner with the family.
Okay.
I have date night. Maitri and I go out, and
you gotta have that, or you go nuts.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay. I want to get real personal here, or nothing, but
it is a funny.
Maybe she makes his meal, or and then she comes down with it, and goes, "Here you go. I'm gonna sit on the floor," and then dashes up the steps. And he's like, "Get out of my basement."
No.
It's funny because there's days where maybe I'll have a granola bar in the morning for breakfast, and then I don't eat until 5, 6 o'clock at night, just because I don't think about it. I'm so busy, and I just don't think to stop and eat.
That's how I am.
A lot of people do that. I do that when I'm busy too.
Yeah.
Same deal.
So
it'll be like 6 or 7 o'clock, and then I'll be like, you know what? I think I'm hungry. Like it'll be like I'll eat something real fast in the morning and drink some water, and then I'll go to like 7 o'clock at night, and I'm like, why do my belly's hungry? Oh yeah, I forgot to eat all day. Now I maybe should eat something.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh man.
Well,
how did we get on that?
We covered that. I don't know.
It was my dad's
one of those questions I had.
Brett, you'll be happy to hear this. I bought a treadmill, and I've been on that treadmill for, I don't know, at least 6 months, if not longer.
Nice.
So Monday through Friday, I'm on there in the mornings.
Very cool.
I could use one of them.
Yeah.
But we talked about this before. Having that physical activity where you can get up off your chair and get away from it and get some kind of exercise, or get out of the house and just get a breath of fresh air, and mentally and physically get some other kind of exercise rather than sitting in your chair. We highly recommend it for all our listeners and everything out there.
And I find myself thinking more when I'm exercising, and it's not at a strenuous. If I'm not overstraining, I like, it gives me time to sit and think, and I find myself my mind wandering about projects I was working on, and actually come up with some solutions while I'm exercising at a moderate level.
Exactly. Oh, that's so funny, because I'll be on the treadmill for like 30 minutes in the morning, and I'm thinking of all these ideas and things that I can be doing,
Mm-hmm.
So it's really helpful.
Yeah, it's amazing. You never would
I
thought.
can just see Jason on the treadmill. He's going to see Jason on the treadmill, and then he's going, you know what? I could make a marina.
Well, no.
Yeah.
The next step, Jason,
I'm walking to the marina.
The next step, Jason, is I have a treadmill and a bike, and you have a treadmill now. We have to figure out a way to devise a working surface that attaches to the treadmill, and then we can work while we're walking on our treadmill or riding our indoor bike. No, that's too much. No, it's good to get that break.
You can wear one of those hats You can wear one of those hats that has the straws, and you can funnel the coffee right through like a.
It's good to get the mental
and
break.
You can run and drink your coffee and work.
Yeah.
Nah, it is good to get that mental. It is good to get the mental break from it. So.
Yeah. Definitely.
But
cool.
Anyways,
right.
I think I've exhausted my questions here. I know I apologize for the technical difficulties earlier, Jason. It was not planned, but I'm glad we worked it out and then we're able to figure this out.
Definitely.
Now we got your MacBook speakers fixed too, or your iMac speakers fixed.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Do you have any other updates as far as the kits that are coming, or anything else you want to kind of hit before we wrap up for the night?
No, I really would like to thank everyone that has supported me in all the social media and with the kit company. It's really been tremendous. It's just unreal. I'm just always amazed at people from other countries that reach out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I have a website, the amount of emails that I get in a single day, or people calling, leaving me messages, it's incredible. It truly is incredible.
I'm sure.
So I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
So.
And now you have a way.
That's awesome.
Now you have a way, even though it's a business and you're selling, obviously. This is what but now you have a way to give back to people who wanted something, more from you than just content. They still have to purchase something. It's not, you're not giving everyone, all of your fans a kit, but it's neat because now they can
you're creating more content.
But it's neat because they can now get a piece of something that you make, not just watch it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
And Patreon continues to grow, and I offer free shipping on the kits in the second and third tier level on Patreon.
Nice. Hey, that's a perk. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And again, that's just patreon.com/Jason Jensen Trains.
There you go.
So, yep.
Awesome.
Check that out.
Well, thank you, Jason.
Definitely.
It is late here, and I got to get up at 6 to get my kids on the bus.
Yeah,
me
too.
I'm now in the phase where I'm getting both kids on the bus, so it's a fun morning every morning. But it's usually like me herding cats, trying to get them ready for school. But yeah, but thank you again, Jason. I appreciate your time tonight. Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on. I know you guys. I've been on so many times, but I really appreciate it.
We'll have to
you'll
count.
be on many more.
We're gonna have to count.
We had a lot of fun with Jason.
We're gonna have to count and get the total of how many times you've been on before we post the show.
Yeah.
So.
All right, sir.
Alrighty.
Well,
it was good talking to you guys.
Peace out, and best of luck to you and your adventures and your business starting it out. We wish you the very best. We're always here to be here for you, and we got your back. So.
Yep.
Well, thank you. Thank you both.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Peace out.